Level 1. Subnormal. You don't think in words. Not yet. The world reaches you in fragments. Light, sound, movement. Someone speaks, but it doesn't translate into meaning. It becomes tone, pressure, emotion. You respond before you understand. A soft voice calms you. A sharp one unsettles you. You don't analyze. You react. Basic things. Holding objects, following gestures, recognizing patterns. Take time. More time than others expect. Sometimes more time than they're willing to give. You depend on people, not temporarily, completely. And because of that, your world becomes smaller, controlled, structured. But inside that limited space, something still exists. You feel connection. You sense kindness without needing explanation. You recognize safety without logic. And even without language, without reasoning, without abstraction, you are still aware in your own way. And that awareness is where everything begins. Level 2. Below average. Now things have shape. Words begin to stick, not all of them, but enough. You understand instructions if they are simple, repeated, direct. Too many steps confuse you. Too much abstraction loses you. You learn best by doing, not thinking, watching, not imagining. Life becomes routine. Wake up, work, eat, repeat. You do tasks that are clear and physical, jobs where outcomes are visible, where success is measurable without needing explanation. People sometimes underestimate you. They assume you don't understand, but you do, just differently. You notice behavior more than logic, tone more than detail. You understand people in ways they don't expect. And over time, you learn something important. You don't need to be exceptional to survive. You just need to be consistent. Level 3. Average. This is where most people live. And most people think they're above it. Now you can think clearly. You read, you write, you solve everyday problems. You understand cause and effect. If you work hard, you earn. If you plan, things improve. Life makes sense. You follow rules. You build relationships. You function. And because everything works, you stop questioning. This level feels complete, like you figured it out, but you haven't. You just stopped looking deeper. You trust systems because they're familiar. You accept information because it's common. You mistake repetition for truth. And slowly, without realizing it, you become part of the system instead of someone who understands it. Level 4. Above average. Now your thinking speeds up. You don't just understand things, you connect them. Patterns start appearing everywhere, in conversations, in behavior, in systems. You notice gaps others ignore, mistakes before they happen, outcomes before they form. School feels slow, work feels repetitive. People feel predictable. You begin editing yourself mid-sentence because you're already 3 steps ahead. You learn to simplify your thoughts so others can follow. Or you stop explaining altogether. You start to feel different, not better, just out of sync. You realize something uncomfortable. Being faster doesn't mean being understood, so you adapt. You slow down your words. You hide your depth. Because fitting in is easier than constantly explaining why you don't. Level 5, high. Now, you don't just see patterns. You rely on them. Your thinking becomes instinctive. You see solutions before problems are fully explained. You connect ideas across different fields without effort. Complexity doesn't overwhelm you. It attracts you. You move towards systems that challenge you. Technology, strategy, theory. You spend hours focused without noticing time pass. But this level has a cost. You begin to feel alone. Not physically, mentally. Conversations feel shallow. Interactions feel repetitive. You struggle to find people who think the way you do, and when you do, you notice how rare it is. You start keeping more thoughts to yourself, because explaining everything becomes exhausting. And slowly, your world becomes quieter. Level 6. Gifted. Now your mind doesn't just process information. It reshapes it. You don't follow paths. You create them. You connect ideas across completely different domains. Science to art, logic to emotion, structure to creativity. You don't just solve problems. You redefine them. From an early point, you notice you're ahead, not slightly. Significantly. You can learn things without being taught. You can understand things others struggle to even approach. But your emotions move just as fast, intense, sharp, sometimes overwhelming. You feel deeply, think deeply, and that combination can isolate you, because not everyone can meet you at that level. You begin to realize being exceptional doesn't guarantee connection. Sometimes it makes it harder. Level 7. Genius. Now your mind works differently, not faster, differently. You don't accept rules, you question them. You don't follow logic, you rebuild it. You see structures beneath reality that others don't even know exist. You don't just think outside the box. You question why the box was built at all. Your ideas feel too early, too strange, too disruptive. People don't immediately understand you. Some resist you, others dismiss you, because what you see challenges what they believe. And systems don't like being challenged. So you learn something critical. Brilliance alone isn't enough. Timing matters, delivery matters, and even then, you may still be misunderstood. At this level, intelligence stops feeling like an advantage and starts feeling like distance. Level 8, Polymath. Now you don't stay in one domain, you move across many, effortlessly. Science, art, philosophy, technology. You don't see them as separate, you see connections between them, patterns linking everything. You understand how music relates to mathematics, how psychology connects to economics, how biology mirrors systems of design. Your mind doesn't just collect knowledge, it integrates it. You build networks of understanding that stretch across disciplines. But this comes with pressure, because mastery takes time, and you're trying to master everything. You live in constant curiosity, constant expansion. There is no finish line, only more to explore. And while others specialize, you become something broader, something harder to define. Level 9, Visionary. Now, you don't just understand the world, you see what it could become. You imagine systems that don't exist yet. You connect present reality to future possibility, and you act on it. You take risks others avoid, because you see outcomes they can't. You build things people don't believe in, yet. Ideas, movements, innovations. At first, people doubt you. They question you. They resist change. But you persist. Because vision isn't about certainty, it's about direction. You move forward without guarantees, driven by something deeper than logic, belief. And over time, reality begins to catch up to what you saw long ago. Level 10, Transcendent. Now everything becomes quiet. You don't chase intelligence anymore. You observe it. You see how people define themselves by what they know, how they compete, compare, prove. You understand the patterns behind thought itself, ego, identity, perception. You realize intelligence was never the final goal, just a tool. At this level, you stop trying to control the world. You understand it, deeply, calmly, without resistance. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to explain everything, because clarity doesn't require validation. And in that silence, you see the full system, from the simplest mind to the most complex, all part of the same structure. Somewhere right now, someone is struggling to understand their first lesson. They think intelligence is about being smarter than others, faster, better. They don't see the full path. They don't see where it leads. You do, because you've lived every level of it, and the system never stops. It just waits for the next mind to rise.